The SEDAT HR Conference 2026 is here. Western Region, are you ready? Join us on 30th April 2026 at the prestigious Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Takoradi, for the 5th edition of the SEDAT HR Conference. This edition will discuss authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. Gain insight from Felicia Opoku-Felicia, Head of HR and Administration, Taka Ghana, Kwame Afre, HR Manager, Talo Ghana Limited, and Mami Ekiagezi, Managing Partner, 565 Consulting. Keynote address from Honorable Joseph Nelson, Western Regional Minister, and our special guest of honor, Nana Kobina Nketia V, Oman Healing of Isikado Traditional Area, and President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Are you a CEO, HR professional, corporate communication executive, business owner, or a corporate leader? Then this conference is for you. Registration is opened in person, 1,150 Ghana cedis, virtual, 1,250 Ghana cedis. To register, visit hrconference.sedatconsultlimited.com or call 0591405555. Transform your workplace, strengthen your people strategy, and lead with impact. This edition of the SEDAT HR Conference is brought to you by SEDAT Consult Limited in partnership with Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Good News FM, Cambridge College of Excellence, Revia, My Health Corp, HR Network, SHRP, Sky Power, Humanova by 3S Technologies, and Women Incorporated. See you there.
Hello, my name is Patricia Abnakisi, HR consultant, CEO of SEDAT Consult Limited. I would like to personally invite you to the SEDAT HR Conference 2026 Takoradi Edition, happening on Thursday, 30th April 2026 at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi. In my work with organizations across Ghana, one issue keeps coming up again and again. Many organizations want strong reputations, engaged employees, and trusted leadership. But the connection between purpose, people, and public trust is often missing. This is why this year's conference is focused on employer branding. We are bringing together CEOs, HR professionals, business executives to have practical conversations about building strong and authentic employer brands. If you are serious about strengthening your organization's culture, reputation, and people strategy, I invite you to join us. Call 059-140-5555 to register today. I look forward to welcoming you in Takoradi. Let me ask you a quick question. If someone asks your employees today, what is it really like to work in your organization? What would they say? This is exactly the conversation we'll be having at the SEDAT HR Conference 2026 in Takoradi. Call 059-140-5555 and be part of the conversation. A very big thank you to our sponsors and partners: Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Humanova by 3S Technologies, HR Network Africa, SHRP, My Health Corp, Revia Ghana, Women Incorporated, Good News FM, and Sky Power FM. If you want to be part of the sponsors, please call 0244 629245. See you in Takoradi. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. Welcome to this episode of HR Digest, brought to you by SEDAT Consult. We are grateful to have you here. Please leave your name and where you are watching us from in the comment section so that we'll give you the usual SEDAT welcome. Let us hear from you. I know that a lot of people watch us, but you do not comment. Today, I want to see your name and where you are watching us from in the comment section. Also, kindly share the link with your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones, followers to join the call. We are going to have a very important conversation today. So, welcome. We are building up to the HR conference in Takoradi. Few days to go, and I'm sure you have heard about the conference. You may have registered, or you are waiting for that final reason for you to join us in Takoradi. Welcome. We are glad to have you here. My name is Patricia Abnakisi. I call myself the chief servant for SEDAT Consult. And so, welcome. I'm here with Samuel, who will join us in the course of the conversation, and then Vivian also join us in the course of the conversation to share their experiences with us. They have been part of the first edition of the HR conference in Takoradi, so they'll share their experience with us. Wow, what a journey it has been. On Thursday, the 30th of April, that will be our fifth edition since we started in 2023 in Kumasi. How far we have come, what has been the motivation behind the conference starting in the first place, why even moving the conference from the usual Accra to other regions like Kumasi, where we've had our third edition, and then like Takoradi, where we are about just to have our second edition. So this is a conversation we're going to have. Supernatural is here. I don't know whether she can hear me, and she's ready to take it off.
Yes, Mom, I can hear you loud and clear. I hope I can be heard as well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. It's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
The brain and founder of SEDAT HR Digest herself is here. Okay. You're all welcome once again to today's episode of the SEDAT HR Digest. As
There's a lot of noise at where you are. I don't know. We are getting a lot of feedback, noise, background noise from where you are. I don't know if something can be done about it. It's really deafening. Okay, so maybe you may want to check that. Right. So while Supernatural checks that so that we have a smooth conversation, yes, like he said, um, I remember in 2023 when I told the team that we're going to have a conference in Kumasi. Everyone was like, "Hey, why Kumasi?" I believe it was an idea that the Holy Spirit dropped in my heart. And usually when the ideas come, I know how such ideas come. So when they come, I just don't question. I just step out in faith and rally the team behind, and then we push ahead. So I'm just looking at the journey so far, and if you ask me to express how I feel right now in just a word, I would say I feel grateful. I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to the individuals, the organizations, the volunteers, the participants, the team members who have been with us on this journey, who have supported this journey, and especially my internal team members who, though the vision was not too clear for them at that time, they actually rallied behind the vision, and we moved to Kumasi, not knowing how it will turn out. when we started, we just stepped out in faith. We hadn't done this before. We didn't know how it would turn out, but we stepped out in faith. And I remember just the evening before the conference, one of our key sponsors who had given us their word, their commitment, that we were going to commit some funds to the conference to make it happen, to make it successful, just called the evening before the conference to say they were pulling out and that they were no longer committing the funds and that was a big blow for me at that point. I had made all the arrangements. I had planned with the funds that they said they were going to support with in terms of sponsorship, and had invited all the people. And it was just the evening before. So let's say 5 p.m. or getting to 6, the evening before the conference. The conference was held on a Thursday. So the Wednesday evening, they just called and said, well, they couldn't commit the funds again. That was a big blow. So at that point, I just told myself, well, let's just get this done. Let's count our losses and then move on. I didn't even think there will be a second edition. But today I look back, I look at the journey, I look at how far we have come, and the people who have come on board to support us, the speakers, the participants. Some of them have come again and again. The volunteers who have worked tirelessly to make sure that every edition was better than the previous ones, and the team members. If I look back and see them and how supportive they have been, I can only say thank you. I can only be grateful to God. And thank you so much, all our partners and our sponsors. I must mention one organization that has consistently, for the past 3 years, when we started in 2023, they have consistently come in to support. And that is Memphima Rural Bank. We are really very grateful to you for your support throughout the years, for Kumasi Conference. Every time we come knock at your door when we're having the Kumasi Conference, you always open the door wide and you receive us and you support us. We are very grateful to you for that support. And so today we are here just prepping for our 5th edition, which will be our 2nd edition in Takoradi, but our 5th conference since we started. It shows me that, God is really in this, and the idea was actually inspired, and I'm really grateful to God for that. And it has become something much, much, much bigger. I think that is, over the years, I have seen how it has grown. I've seen how people have come on board to support, and I see that this is no longer a conference. For me, it has become a movement for workplace support, a movement for HR, advancing the career in HR, advancing the profession, a movement to make the workplace better, a movement to ensure that organizations and individuals working within the organization understand the role they play, and a movement that says that if we all work together as employers, as employees, we can achieve the results and the goals that we are looking for. And that, for me, is very exciting. Once again, this is the SEDAT HR Digest, brought to you by SEDAT Consult. Please let us know where you are watching us from. Leave your name and where you're watching us from in the comment section so that we'll give you our outstanding welcome. Let us know where you are watching us from. Right. So I don't know whether Sami is on the call, but if not, let me continue with the conversation. Right. Okay, Sam, you are welcome. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, great. I can hear you.
Awesome. So this conversation is about the second edition of the HR conference in Takoradi. I know you were part of the first edition, and if you can just briefly tell us
Yes.
what the feeling was, even before the conference. What was your expectation? What were you expecting from the conference? And then during the conference, how was it? And after the conference, how has the conference actually impacted you and the way you do your work, and the feedback that you've also received from other participants? If you can briefly share with us before we continue with the conversation.
Yes, so thank you very much, Madam Pat. With regards to the conference last year, being my first conference to attend as an HR practitioner within my local area in Takoradi, I was very much expectant of what is going to be shared. And one thing that was so highlighted for me was the fact that I had a chance to network with high level people who were guests to the program. I think that the people that were brought as speakers to the conference were of top notch. It was always in a dream to have met some of these people, a person like Mr. Kwame Afre and the team from the Go Fields, the manager, and all those ones, especially our foreign friend who came all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. I think that was an interesting one. I had a very nice conversation with them, and the inspiration they shared with me made me know that I still can make it if I follow the standard that has already been set by some of these professionals in the field of HR and team leading. So it's a very nice experience. I always keep memories of such ones, and with all the things that was done, especially with the health corp that came in, the activities they shared with us. That was a nice one. In conferences like this, the information overload itself can put you at bay. But with these intermittent things that the organization like Health Corp brought in was a very nice one. So this year too, I'm expecting some of these things to happen, and I'm also encouraged to be part of this year's conference too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I mean, hearing you speak about how the conference impacted your life brings back memories of when we had the first edition in Kumasi. After the conference, some of the participants called me personally, some sent me messages, not just to only to thank me for the opportunity to participate in the conference, but to share with me some of the learning points and how what they had learned from the conference had changed how they manage their team members, how they led the people, and how they even see the organizations that they work with, knowing that HR is a critical part of the business. It was really exciting for me, and I believe that is what actually keeps us going every year on. Bringing the conference to people within Kumasi and the western region. I remember clearly one participant told me that before he attended the conference, he thought HR was just an administrative, function. But now he left the conference realizing that HR is actually a strategic partner and that is critical for business success. And now how he practices has changed altogether. And now he's able to contribute to how the organization is going. He takes the goals of the business largely, looks at it, and then sees how HR can contribute to achieving those goals. And that was really, very, very touching for me. Another striking one was when one of them said, and for me, I think I would want to quote that one. What he said, I have come to understand that as an HR practitioner, I must understand the business I work in. Otherwise, I have no business being in that business. And I think it was one of the speakers that made that what I think it was Kojo Emisa that made that statement, and it resonated so well with her. And when we're taking feedback from participants after the conference, she shared this, and for me, it's really touching. That makes me know that this is not just a conference. It's a platform where real change is happening. People come, they learn, they go back, and they see how they practice differently. They go back and they implement. For me, that is the whole excitement. That is what I'm actually very excited about. The fact that people come and not just come, listen and go, but pick the nuggets and they go back to the organizations and they try to implement those. And that is really very exciting for me. Before I come to you, Sam, I want to share, for me as the lead and of the team organizing the conference, or that has been organizing this conference over the years. I must say that personally and professionally, it has been very fulfilling, but it has also been stretching. It has been very challenging, and personally, it has taught me patience. It has also taught me resilience, and how important it is that if you are pursuing purpose, you are consistent with it. You go all out despite the odds. You go all out even when things are not easy. You don't give up. Like the story I shared. I mean, when the sponsors called to say they had pulled out at that, you will say the 11th hour, it was really a big blow for me. And I began to question myself and whether I really, really was a good idea to even start the conference in the first place and all that. But it taught me to be patient. It taught me to also be resilient, and that consistency. If you're building something as impactful as this one, it will not just happen overnight. It will happen over time. So it taught me that if you are doing something meaningful, if you want to have anything at all you are doing that you consider to be impactful, it will not just happen. You would have to work at it consistently, and the impact will not just be an overnight one. It will happen over time, and that is a learning point for me. Professionally, it has opened my eyes to the challenges that organizations face daily in the people, management, in leadership, in managing the relationship between the employer and the employees. It has opened my eyes to the real issues on the ground. And it has also afforded me the opportunity to contribute to advancing the profession, the HR profession that I love so much, to the extent that if I meet somebody for the first time, the person says, I'm into HR, I'm so excited, and it shows all the time. So, Sam, I don't know what else you want to share in terms of, yeah.
From the conference, I still can recall vividly the lesson I took from our keynote speaker Joshua Mototi, who brought to understanding that in his managerial role, he tended to make sure that he broke the boundaries that stood between himself as a manager and the people working under him, by making sure that titles are always taken away. And I think that lesson has also helped me, because in my professional life as a pastor and a leader, people always have to see you as a top person and they cannot even relate with you. And I think that coming down to the levels of the people that I work with, by making sure that we coordinate at a very convenient level, it has really changed my approach to them and their approach to me, so we can flow together. So I learned a lot in the last conference from the experience of our speaker, Joshua Mototi that it is always important for us to relate well, so to get the people's buy-in to every decision we make. So I think this year I'm expecting a lot from the speakers and then to learn more to shape my practice. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. I remember that so vividly as well. When he said he liked to be called Josh instead of MD or manager or CEO and stuff like that. And I know many organizations that call and it's a policy in that in many of these organizations that you call people by their first names. It's a way of breaking whatever man-made barriers, and it's because also based on upbringing, particularly in Ghana. When you're growing up, the way you relate to adults, and sometimes when you're speaking to them too, you don't have to look them in the face. Sometimes you have to bow your head, sometimes you have to put your hands behind your back and stuff like that to show respect. But I think when it happens like that at the workplace, at home, yes, feel free if you still want to do that, but at the workplace, it helps to break all these barriers so that the people can feel free and come to you and share ideas and all that. And sometimes it even relates to the, or say we operate an open door policy. Some organizations, the offices are always open. Some have even done the workstation ones. You see everybody in their office and what they're doing and all that. And thank you so much for sharing that. I think that is really great. For this year, for those who have reached out to me and are asking me what's the relevance of the theme for this year's conference and all that. And let me say here that we choose themes for our conferences intentionally, deliberately, carefully, based on what we have seen in the practice. I mean, as a consultant, what I've seen, and then also what I have heard my colleagues talk about, the pain points that they share with me. And so when I'm deciding, or we are deciding as a team, what theme to, I remember when we met in Takoradi last year, when we were planning the conference for this year, we came out with a lot of ideas as to what theme to work with. And then we, in our HR community, in the SEDAT online HR community, we did a poll to get people's views on the theme. And the theme that won the day was this one, authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. And why that theme? What is the relevance of the theme for organizations, for leaders, for managers, for HR practitioners? I remember when we were having a conversation on Good News FM last 2 weeks or so, the host asked the same question: why the theme? And I was clear. I have worked as a consultant for over 19 years. I mean, in practice and in consulting for over 19 years. And I've seen how the practice has evolved. I've seen how expectations from employees have changed over the years. Those days when we were there, we were just there just to grow, just to learn, as much as we could at that time. And so we're not so particular about how much we were paid and all that. We just wanted to grow and learn and fulfill our purpose, but today is not like that. Of course, I know that especially the millennials and the Gen Zs, purpose-driven career is what they are pursuing. And for me, that is very, very important. But when you look at the world of work today, when people are, especially the talented ones, if they are looking for jobs, they are not just looking for jobs for the sake of it, but they're also assessing organizations that they would want to work with. I remember one of the times I was recruiting for a client, one of the clients in the banking space. And I reached out to, it was high-level positions that were filling. So I reached out to some people that I identified as very suitable for the roles that we're filling. I reached out to them and had a conversation with them. They were all okay and willing to, to submit their CVs and submit themselves for interviews and all that. And then they'll ask me one question: which organization are you recruiting for? Immediately I mentioned the organization, they say, no, I'm not interested. And that's how top talent refused to work for that organization. So they are assessing the organization and they are finding out, is this organization where I want to work? This organization, do they respect employees? This organization, is it a place that I can thrive? Or it's a place I always have to watch what I say, and all that. So your talented people are not just looking for jobs, they're looking for organizations they can trust. They're looking for organizations whose values they believe in. They're looking for organizations where they'll be respected and supported. And that is why employer branding is no longer a marketing issue. It's not even an HR issue. It's a leadership issue. How you treat the employees, how you speak to them, how you relate to them, how you care for them. If they know even how their role contributes to the general goal of the business, it makes them feel that, yes, I'm at the right place at the right time. So they are assessing you and you may not know, and you are losing talent. And so that is why, for me, this team is very critical. And we'll have this important conversation during the conference. And that will be how organizations can actually build authentic employer brands that attract talent, that retains them, that drives results. And that is what the conversation is about. And I believe that every leader, if you lead people, whether it's a one team member or two, no matter the number of people you lead, and this is not just for HR practitioners. Yes, the conference is HR, but I even like to call it HR and Leadership Conference, because the theme this year is not just about HR. It's about how leaders, their behaviors, and how the systems create a culture that is authentic or that is not. It is how your internal communication, your internal practices align with what you say publicly. And when there is that alignment, that is where we say that it's an authentic employer brand. But not when what you do internally and what you say externally are not aligned, then it's a challenge. And I must add, before Sam, you come in, I must add that one thing I've also observed is that organizations are not really judged by only the quality of their product or their services or their financial performance, but also how they treat their people. And I know some multinational organizations who, before they decide to do business with you, want to see how you treat your employees internally. They want to see how you take care of your internal customers before they decide to do business with you. And so you may have submitted proposals upon proposals and all that, or you may have even had opportunity to have a conversation with them, but they will do their background checks and all that, and they realize that, look, this is not an organization we want to do business with. So that is why, as a business owner, as a CEO, as an MD, as a leader, no matter which industry you operate in, you really need to take this conversation seriously and make sure that there's that alignment between what your internal customers actually say and what you put out there in social media or on your website and stuff like that. Yeah. So Sam, let's talk about this year's conference. Let's talk about what the expectations are for this year. I know you've mentioned that based on the previous experience, you want to experience something else. But let me hear from you. What exactly are your expectations? Then I'll share with you what makes this year's conference really very unique.
Yeah, so I am very much expectant with regards to what these leaders who have been invited will be sharing. And I must say that with the likes of Nana Kobnanketi at the feet and the likes of Honorable Joseph Nelson on the bill, with other speakers, I'm expecting to hear how they have carried themselves, especially with Nana Kobnankete. If you look at what he has done with his background as a lecturer and now within the space of chieftaincy, with all the organizations that he's a board member on, I think that he has a wealth of experience to share. So I'm expecting to know how these leaders have done it and then the practical steps that they will share with us on this conference. And these are the nuggets I want to pick home to change my practice as a professional in HR and as a leader in the church and then in academia as well. So I am very much expectant with regards to all that they have to share, especially with what Mr. Kwame Afresh shared last year, and even with regards to those branding things that he intended to share this year too. I am very much expectant. So I will surely be there to learn more about this process of becoming a very sought for brand. Because if I work with the right institution, I think the kind of influence I will have as a leader and then as a stakeholder in such a company will help my future professional life. So I think that I will be there to learn more. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. So if you are watching us or listening to us and you want to reason that compelling reason to be in Takoradi with us at the Western Civil Atlantic Hotel on the 30th of April, this is it. Nana Kobnankete is, somebody described him as a powerhouse, when he saw him on the bill as a powerhouse. And those who have experienced him know, I mean, he's loaded. When it comes to culture, when it comes to values, when it comes to aligning culture with the value. So what the perspective he brings is I'm really also looking forward to it. Very, very, very interesting. And our honorable minister is also coming, the Western Regional Minister. And for me, I'm just excited about, because I know these speakers and for Felicia and for Kwame, yes, last year they were there. Mami Gezi is another powerhouse when it comes to organizational culture and crafting or creating the right culture. Look, we'll go on a commercial break, but before we go, let me say this. Whether you deliberately craft your culture, I mean organizational culture or not, there is a culture within the organization, right? And so you really need to take it upon yourself as an organization and define, create the kind of culture you want to see, because that will reflect on you publicly. And that would also inform other organizations whether they want to do business with you or not, even individuals, whether they would want to patronize your services, your products or not. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be at the Western Civil Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi on the 30th of April. So we go on a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll give you more reasons to attend this year's conference. See you soon.
The SEDAT HR Conference 2026 is here. Western Region, are you ready? Join us on 30th April 2026 at the prestigious Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Takoradi, for the 5th edition of the SEDAT HR Conference. This edition will discuss authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. Gain insight from Felicia Opoku Felicia, Head of HR and Administration, Taka Ghana, Kwame Afre, HR Manager, Talo Ghana Limited, and Mami Ekiagezi, Managing Partner, 565 Consulting. Keynote address from Honorable Joseph Nelson, Western Regional Minister, and our special guest of honor, Nana Kobina Nketia V, Oman Healing of Isikado Traditional Area, and President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Are you a CU, HR professional, corporate communication executive, business owner, or a corporate leader, then this conference is for you. Registration is opened in person 1,150 Ghana cedis, virtual 1,250 Ghana cedis. To register, visit hrconference.sedatconsultlimited.com or call 0591405555. Transform your workplace, strengthen your people strategy, and lead with impact. This edition of the SEDAT HR Conference is brought to you by SEDAT Consult Limited in partnership with Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Good News FM, Cambridge College of Excellence, Revia, My Health Corp, HR Network, SHRP, Sky Power, Humanova by 3S Technologies, and Women Incorporated. See you there.
Let me ask you a quick question. If someone asks your employees today, what is it really like to work in your organization? What would they say? This is exactly the conversation we'll be having at the SEDAT HR Conference 2026 in Takoradi. Call 059-140-5555 and be part of the conversation. A very big thank you to our sponsors and partners. Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Humanova by 3S Technologies, HR Network Africa, SHRP, My Health Corp, Revia Ghana, Women Incorporated, Good News FM, and Sky Power FM. If you want to be part of the sponsors, please call 0244 629245. See you in Takoradi. Welcome back. Yes, this is a conference you don't have to miss if you are in Takoradi. And there's also a virtual option. So actually, anywhere you are in the world, you can still be part of the conference and you can benefit from that. Let me come to you, Samuel, again. If I'm an HR leader, I'm a line manager, and I've been hearing about the conference, I've been seeing the flyers, the adverts and all that, but I've still not made up my mind to attend the conference. Tell us, what value should I expect? Why should I come for the conference if I'm HR leader or line manager or a CEO or a corporate executive? Why must I attend this conference? What value will I get from it?
So this conference, as the team presents, is a very practical, experiential thing, because what we intend to gain from the likes of these speakers that will bring to us is something that the participants who are coming are taking home practical tools to improve their people management skills and organizational culture. Because I think that with the likes of these speakers, as you have already made mention of, with Mami Akuya, Daisy, and Kwame Afre, and Felicia, all of them will share with us these practical things that we can implement in our daily life of people management. And I can also add that anyone who joins us on this conference, whether in business, education, even faith-based organizations, are also going to take home whatever experience that they need to get. And one top thing that has always encouraged me to attend conferences is the networking opportunities. Because for some time in your life, you might not have the chance to have a chit chat with a person like the Omahine of Esicado. But at this conference, you have these experiences to take some nuggets from them on a one-on-one opportunity. So I think that everyone coming as a business leader, as a line manager, will take home whatever experience that will be shared in that conference. So I am encouraging everyone to join us. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for that. And this year we have deliberately included 60 seconds with a speaker as part of the program, right? So we give the opportunity to, because we got feedback from our past conferences that yes, the speakers are there. I see some people go to them to talk to them and all that, but others are also laid back. And I think that no, let's make it formal, a formal part of the conference where we have a time dedicated for, so you have a 60-second to spend with any speaker of your choice, and you can do any of them, or you can do more than one. So 60 seconds, you go to the speaker, you talk to them. It's like the elevator pitch, right? You talk to them and convince them to be your friends, or to be your sponsor, or to keep the conversation going, right? So we are making that, and we have also included a scheduled networking. We call it speed networking. We will have two of such as the time with the 60 seconds with the speaker. And so we deliberately creating opportunities for you to network, because like someone said, it's not just about the learning. Yes, the learning is very important, but networking is also very important. It is said that your network is your net worth, and that is true. For me, as a consultant, what I do, I can say about 90% of the businesses that I execute, that I get, has been from my networks purely. So if you're a business owner, if you're a consultant, if you are somebody who is seeking to build your career, somebody that you can even just call and pick ideas from, the person is you make the connection, so that when in practice, because you don't know it all, right? Sometimes you are faced with a situation and there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Somebody has gone through that already, has gone through that path. So you just pick your phone, call the person, Charlie, I'm in this situation. When it happened to you, how did you deal with it? Or have you had experience? Or what advice would you give? And that is it. And you see, yes, we are in an era of AI and chat GPT and all that. But there are certain experiences that AI cannot help you solve. You need the people who have experienced it to share with you, and that is why networking is very important. So if you are not even coming for the knowledge, if you are not coming for the experiences, if you are not coming for the nuggets, come for the networking alone, and make meaningful connections and build up from there. And I can assure you that you will never regret it. Those who have attended the conferences and what they have gained, when they share with me, I myself am humbled. I'm very, very humbled. And apart from the speed networking and 60 seconds with a speaker, this year we have also intentionally created we are bringing you practical engagement sessions during the conference. You are not just coming to listen to the speakers or to engage with the speakers and do their presentation and all that. You're also going to have the opportunity to interrogate real case studies, discuss the real case studies, share your experiences, come out with your suggestions, and share with the general participants. So it's going to be very hands-on. Apart from, yes, we'll have the keynote speakers, we'll also have the presentations and all that. There will also be a panel discussion. But apart from that, for me, I'm excited about this, the case studies, the real case studies, so that you go back and you have practical, hands-on experience of how you will deal with some of these. And it is based on the theme. And so you're going to really, really go back with that. I don't know how that sounds for you, Samuel. How does that make you feel?
As I've already, as I've expressed when I heard this from our previous discussions that there will be some case studies. Sometimes when someone asks you, what will you do if you are in this situation? That question of what will you do is very strong. So utilizing these case studies will help us to arm ourselves with the right tools in case these issues happen to us in real life. So these are practical things that has already happened to other people, other organizations. Why they have gotten the chance to manipulate. Some of them had downfalls, others have some kind of standing opportunities for them. And so I think that these case studies will shape our understanding and our practice. So it's a very nice one. And I think this is very novel in this year's conference, and it is going to spice up whatever will be happening. So I look forward to what will be the answers, and then the kind of the solutions people will propose in answering some of the questions that will come up. So this is a very nice opportunity for us to practically put to bear what we are doing. So I look forward to it.
I'm excited about it myself. So it means that people don't just leave the conference with notes, but they leave with clarity of what to do differently when they are faced with situations like that. So this is awesome. This is awesome. Please come and be part of the conference. You will not regret it. So I sometimes, and I think I've mentioned it some, but when people see HR conference, they say, oh, this is for HR people. And particularly this year, and the theme, who should come for this conference? Who is this conference actually for?
If you ask me, I will say it's for everyone. So far as you engage with people, you have a business to deal with customers, and other people are being your subordinates, or even you being a subordinate yourself, you should be there, because it's a kind of two-edged sword, whereby the employer and then the employee have to learn what to do in every situation, because the authentic branding is not an employer problem or an employer situation. The employee also has a stake to play. So we all have to come and learn. So I will not single out business leaders or organizational leaders, or maybe some kind of faith based leaders. I will be inviting everyone to be part of this conference, so that the learning will be across board. Everyone will have their share of the learning, and then the impact will be awesome, because we want organizations to grow. We want organizations to have the best of experience, so that from the top level to the line managers, and then to the person who does the basic job for the organization, we all have the same understanding, and then make sure the organization achieve its visions and its mission. So that is what I'm looking up to.
Right, you've said it well. It's for everyone. It's for everyone, actually. And like I said, coming there, apart from the knowledge, apart from the case studies, there's also the networking opportunity. Somebody asked me, so apart from learning, what else? What else will I get? Networking. But there's also certificates for all our conferences. Any when we started in 2023, first edition in Kumasi, we have issued certificates. So it's one of the things, because I know that sometimes when you go for interview, people want to know how you have developed yourself. And for me, I know that I do that. I look at all those. So when you tell me you attended this conference, you attended this training, you attended this program and all that, it shows me that you're somebody who takes your personal development, your career development seriously, and you are a continuous learner. Okay. And in this age, at the workplace, for your career advancement, these are the things you need. So if you're somebody who never learns, who never attends any program, whether it's training, whether it's conference, you may be shooting yourself in the foot. You may be harming your career advancement, right? So come and learn, you have the certificate to show that indeed you attended the conference, and it's part of your career development and your continuous improvement when it comes to your career. Let me pause here and say a big thank you to all our partners and sponsors. I want to say thank you to Western Serene Atlantic Hotel for your partnership. We want to say thank you to Humanova by 3S Technology for your sponsorship. We want to say thank you to Women Incorporated for your sponsorship. We want to say thank you to HR Network Africa for your partnership. We want to say thank you to SHRP, Strategic HR Professionals, for your partnership. Cynthia and Woyome, Emmanuel, thank you for your sponsorship, for your partnership. I want to say a big thank you to our media partners, to Good News FM and to Sky Power FM. Last year they were with us, and this year too, they are with us. I want to say thank you. And thank you to all the previous participants who are registered again to come this year as well. If you have not yet registered, this is your cue to register. This is a conference you don't want to miss. And like I said, there's a virtual option. So no matter where you are in the world, you can still be part of the conference and learn and network and make sure that you take your own career development in your own hands, take responsibility for it, and grow your career. So thank you to all our partners and our sponsors. So we are wrapping up, but let's look at just what is it, apart from the sessions with the speakers, what kind of experience should a participant expect? I know you've said a lot, but if you are summing it up, apart from hearing from the speakers, what kind of experience should a participant be looking for or looking forward to receiving when they come for the conference?
I will sum it up as an opportunity to add value. So as we come together as professionals, then learning the right way to improve on our branding, I think that is an additional step in adding value to our professional life and then to our institutions. So everyone coming, in summary, is an attempt to add value to themselves and then to their organization. So if any person is listening and then watching us, it is this conference that put us at the point of value-based learning. So please come along with all your organizational members to learn, so that productivity will get better. But we look forward to making sure that every organization come out with their best. And then for this year, we have the best to offer. So everyone should come up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Adding value to yourself. And I want everyone to see this. I mean, I'm a learning and development practitioner, certified trainer. And I tell people, like, look, if you are committing funds to any training or conference or event that you are attending, see it as an investment, because it is an investment. And it's like the sowing and the reaping, fact, truth that governs any organization, any individual. It's what you sow that you reap. So if you want to develop yourself, you want to add value to yourself, you have to make the investment, right? And I know that some individuals may not have the sponsorship from the organizations to attend this conference, but it's an investment that you can decide to make personally for your own good. Because look, the knowledge that you will get, the nuggets that will be shared, the experiences you will get, the networking that you will get, it's for you first before it is for the organization, right? So make that investment today to be part of the conference, to learn for yourself, to grow for yourself, to network for yourself, to help you do your job better, to help you create the right environment for your people to thrive, to create that environment that supports employees, that environment that has that gives the leadership support, the guidance, the direction to the organization. And again, this is not just employer branding, is not just a marketing tool or a message that you put out on your website or on social media. Employer branding starts with your internal staff. It starts with your culture, the kind of culture you have. How do people feel within your organization? Are they able to speak their minds without fear of being intimidated? Are they psychologically safe in the environment where they are working? It is when they are psychologically safe, it is when they are respected, it is when they feel that they are supported, that is when they give of their best. That is when you get the results. That is when the organization in terms of performance improves. So if you're an organization and you're watching us, or a leader of any organization and you're watching us, please sponsor your team members to be part of the conference. Your HR, your line managers, your communication team, your corporate executive, your leadership. They're very important people to get this message, because they will determine what kind of culture. It's actually leadership that drives culture, right? So, but if your organization is not sponsoring you, please invest in this yourself and join us and learn and network and grow in your career. But the good news is this: for those who watch us every Sunday, for those who are part of the SEDAT community, we are giving you a discount if you're an individual paying for yourself, making the investment yourself to attend the conference. We are giving you 40% discount. I repeat, if you're an individual making the investment by yourself to be part of this conference, if you have been watching us every Sunday on the HR Digest, if you are part of the SEDAT community, and if you are part of the HR Network community, you are part of the SHRP community, you have 40, and you are an APSAN, right? I am an APSAN. If you are a past student of Archbishop Porter Girls Secondary School in Takoradi, you also have 40% discount. So reach out to us and register and talk to us, right? You can call me on 0244 629245, 0244 629245, and be part of the conversation, and call us if you need further inquiries. Sam, we are wrapping up. What will be your final words for those who are yet to make the decision? What one sentence will you say that will make them absolutely not miss this conference?
Yes, so I will want to let everyone listening to us, watching us this time, that this conference is something we cannot afford to miss, because it is timely. And so everyone should come for us to make useful of the information that will be shared by our speakers. And so it is a timely theme to have your branding of the organization becoming a top-notch brand, because without the right brand, your organization might not be attractive to the top talent as you have discussed. So let us all be here in Takoradi at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel to have this nugget shaping our organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, it's happening on Thursday, 30th April 2026 at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi. Those in Takoradi know it popularly as the Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi. We are starting at 8:30. It's a full day program. Like I said, there's also a virtual option. So anywhere you are in the world, if you still want to be part of the conference, you can opt for the virtual option. But if you are in Takoradi and its surrounding communities, the best place to be on the 30th of April is the Western Syria Atlantic Hotel at the SEDAT HR Conference 2026 Takoradi Edition. Call 051 405555 059, beg your pardon, 059 140 5555 059 140 5555 for any inquiries or for registration. So thank you again for making the time to be part of this edition of the SEDAT HR Digest, brought to you by SEDAT Consult. Sam, thank you so much for making the time to be here. Let me say a big thank you to our speakers as well. For Kwame Afre, for Mami Ikia Gezi, for Felicia Poku Foliche, for Honorable Minister Joseph Nelson, and for our Mahine of Esikado Traditional Area, Nana Kwabnan Ketia. Thank you so much for making the time to be here. So thank you very much. And again, SEDAT Consult, the HR Digest is brought to you by SEDAT Consult. It's an HR consulting firm, provide HR solutions. So all your people needs, all your organizational needs, we call on you to help out. We support you with your people management, with the organization. And for us, the joy and the fulfillment we get is when we get a feedback like, oh, you provided this service and it's been very impactful. And that is really our best motivation for the services we provide. So HR support, staff outsourcing, service outsourcing, and all HR solutions. Call SEDAT Consult on 059 140 5555 or 055 0883936. Thank you again for making the time to be here. See you at the conference and see you next week when we meet again to share nuggets with you from the conference. Have a good evening.
The SEDAT HR Conference 2026 is here. Western Region, are you ready? Join us on 30th April 2026 at the prestigious Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Takoradi, for the 5th edition of the SEDAT HR Conference. This edition will discuss authentic employer branding, purpose, people, and public trust. Gain insight from Felicia Opoku Felicia, Head of HR and Administration, Taka Ghana, Kwame Afre, HR Manager, Talo Ghana Limited, and Mami Ikia Gezi, Managing Partner, 565 Consulting. Keynote address from Honorable Joseph Nelson, Western Regional Minister, and our special guest of honor, Nana Kobina Nketia V, Oman of Esikado Traditional Area and President of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. Are you a CEO, HR professional, corporate communication executive, business owner, or a corporate leader? Then this conference is for you. Registration is opened in person, 1,150 Ghana cedis, virtual, 1,250 Ghana cedis. To register, visit hrconference.sedatconsultlimited.com or call 0591 405555. Transform your workplace, strengthen your people's strategy, and lead with impact. This edition of the SEDAT HR Conference is brought to you by SEDAT Consult Limited in partnership with Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Good News FM, Cambridge College of Excellence, Revia, My Health Corp, HR Network, SHRP, Sky Power, Humanova by 3S Technologies, and Women Incorporated. See you there.